Hello everyone and welcome to the first lesson, Grammar in Context. Our first lesson is about the uses of be. In this lesson, we're going to discuss some questions about the verb be. What is the verb be? Why is it a special verb? How do we make negative statements and questions with this verb? At the end, what are the uses of the verb be? Let's get started with the first question. What is the verb be? Actually, it is one of the primary auxiliary verbs in English, which has many special uses as a main verb and as a helping verb as well. For example, if we say Peter is an English teacher, in the sentence we have only one verb, which is. So is here in this example is the main verb. And when we say it is the main verb of the sentence, we mean it is the only verb in the sentence that tells us about the tense, present, or past. We have also to keep in mind that each English sentence must have at least one verb. Sometimes we have more than one verb in one sentence. For example, Peter is teaching English now. In this example, we have two verbs. One is a main verb, the other one is a helping verb. And the verb is in this sentence is the helping verb. It's not the only one in this sentence like the previous example, because we have another verb which is teaching. But teaching here is the main verb. In this sentence, there are two verbs. In this case, the main verb tells us more about the action Peter is doing, which is teaching. Now let's move to another question about the verb be, which is why is it a special verb? As you know, the verb be has three different forms. Present, is, are, which is verb 1. Past, the past tense of and is was. The past tense of are, were. The third form, which is called past participle, been, which is verb 3. Let's take some examples about these verbs. In the present, we say, he is sick now. If you want to change it into the past tense of is was. So we can say he was sick yesterday. The past participle of this verb is has been. He has been sick for a week. Now, to change the sentence into a negative form, we just need to use not after the verb be. And if we want to change the statement into a question or yes/no question, we just put the verb be before the subject. I mean at the beginning of the sentence. Let's take some examples. If we say, for example, he is sick now, if we want to change it, we just put not after the verb is. So it will become he is not sick now. And if we want to change it into a question form, we can put the verb be at the beginning, and it will become is he sick now, without any other changes. Another example with the verb were, we say they were in the mall. If we want to change it into negative, they were not in the mall. And to make it a question, we put the verb were at the beginning of the sentence. It will become a question. Were they in the mall? One more thing is, don't forget to put the question mark at the end of each question, because it is very important in English. And now let's talk about the uses of the verb be. I mean, when do we use it? Do we need to have it in every sentence in English? No. The first use is to identify someone or something using a noun. For example, when we say Peter is an engineer. Engineer here in this sentence is a noun, and we are telling people who is Peter. Peter is an engineer. Another example, they are my friends. Who are they? They are my friends. So I'm telling people, who are those people standing over there? They are my friends. Another example, this is a vacuum cleaner. Also, we can use it to identify things. Another use for the verb be is to describe someone or something using an adjective. For example, Peter is smart. They are tall. Smart and tall are adjectives, and they come after the verb be, as you can see in these examples. We have is and we have are. So whenever you want to describe something or someone, you need to use the verb be. The last example, the desk is big. We are describing the desk with the adjective big. Some other uses for the verb be. We can also use the verb be with expressions of time and with expressions of place. Let's take some examples with expressions of time. I am late. Late actually is an expression of time, which is the opposite of early. Late is used after the verb be. Another example, today is Monday. Another example about the time, it is 7:30. Sometimes we can use the verb be with expressions of place. Let's take some examples about that. But before we see the examples, I want you to remember that we have a preposition and a noun in this case. For example, John is at school. We have a preposition at and school, the name of the place. The doctors are in the hospital. Also here we have in as a preposition and the hospital, which is the place. The last example, my brother is at work. At work. So until now we have seen 4 uses for the verb be with nouns, adjectives, places, and time. But we can also use the verb be in progressive tenses. We have present progressive and past progressive. In English, to talk about an action that is happening at the time of speaking, we use the first form verb 1 with ing after one of the verb be forms, is, are. Example, I am studying English. They are listening to music. It means these actions are happening at the time of speaking. One last example. She is wearing a black dress today. As you remember, one of the expressions we use in the present progressive, today, now, or at the moment. To talk about an action that was in progress at a certain time in the past, we use was and were plus verb with ing. For example, they were playing basketball at 5 o'clock. We have here 2 verbs, were and playing. Another example, they were studying at 2:30. One last example, Peter was sleeping at 12:30 a.m. I hope you get benefit of this lesson. Thank you for your watching and see you next time.